I mean, I hit record and I don't really know what I'm going to say right now, but it's interesting to look back at your life and think about times where you thought you just couldn't do something. Like, I remember when I was in middle school and I had gone to a friend's birthday party, and her parents took us to an improv show. And I remember just seeing these improvisers on stage and thinking to myself, like, how? How is this possible? Like, how can humans do this? And then cut to adult sauna, and I was fortunate to take improv classes and do improv shows myself. I'm not saying I'm an expert improviser, but the point is I did the damn thing, even though once upon a time I didn't think I could. The same thing goes for Hindi poetry. The first time I saw people perform at an open mic, I was like, wow, I wish I had their talent. Like, there's no way in hell I'd ever be able to get up on stage and perform that specific art form. Once again, like, cut to some time later, and then I found myself doing the very same. And I was fortunate to, you know, throughout improv or poetry or just various other things in life, I have been fortunate to have teachers and beautiful souls who have encouraged me and wanted me to thrive. And I do believe that we all have these helpers and these earth angels who come to us and help us be the person we're meant to be. And I hold so much gratitude in my heart for these people. But I simultaneously want to acknowledge that at the end of the day, no matter who you have in your corner, it's ultimately still up to you to decide to take the plunge and do what you want to do. It doesn't have to be anything artistic either. It could, maybe you want to start your own business, which, like, I mean, that too is art in some people's perspective. Like, honestly, doing anything, I do, this is kind of a side tangent, but I think I do agree with the perspective that at the end of the day, everything is art. Like, even doctors, like, I mean, yes, you should know your stuff. Like, don't artistically experiment with patients, but at the end of the day, creativity is needed everywhere, and we're all just artists who paint different pictures, if that analogy makes sense. My point is, now that we're done with that tangent, if you want to paint a picture, you have to pick up the paintbrush, right? All these helpers could be like different colors you have on your palette ready for you to use, and they're at your disposal. They're like wanting you to use them to paint, but at the end of the day, you're the one who has to pick up that brush and make the damn painting, right? And we could have a lot of limiting beliefs in our mind, which most likely aren't even yours. They've been put in your head by society, by friends, by colleagues, media, whatever. And they tell you these stories to keep you small. They tell you you're not worthy. They tell you you're not talented. They tell you that you just can't fucking do it. And it's not true. You you can literally do anything in this world that you want to do. I know it sounds cliched. Some people, maybe a lot of people, are going to roll their eyes when they hear me say that. And that's fine. But it's the truth. You actually can do anything you want to in this life. You may not want to do everything. I do believe everyone has natural interests that others don't. Like, maybe you want to be a musician and someone else has no interest whatsoever in being one. Maybe someone wants to um, I don't know, be a teacher, and you really don't want to be a teacher. It doesn't matter, but the point is you can always learn anything. I follow this account called The Alchemist Next Door, by a beautiful soul named Emma Chartrand, and something I actually have it saved in one of my story highlights on Instagram. And she talks about how, yes, we as humans all have innate gifts and natural talents, but what is also true is that each of us is a human being and therefore is adaptable, and anything can be learned or taught to us. So when anything can be learned or taught, I mean, I didn't make that as eloquent as she did. The point is, if anything can be learned or taught, there's no need to place anyone on a pedestal, and then there's no need to make yourself superior to anybody. Because literally anyone, including yourself, can do anything in this world. Anything. Um, it's just a matter of finding what you want to do and then doing it despite what your mind might be telling you, despite any limiting beliefs and fears you may have. Yeah, so the point of this ramble was, see, the other thing about me. A lot of people know this if they know me personally. I'm an interview addict. Like, I love watching, listening to interviews of people. And I've had this addiction since a very young age. I don't know exactly when it started, but essentially I will scour the internet for stories of people and how they've become who they are. And recently I've been binge watching all things Kyle Hanagami, who's a choreographer in LA, an incredibly beautiful soul. And he's yet another example of someone who started quote unquote late in life, because us humans for some reason like to bring up age a lot and say if you don't do something by X age, there's no hope for you, which is another limiting belief, right? But yeah, he started learning dance at age 19, and most of the world tells you have to dance since you're 3 years old if you want to ever make it professionally as a dancer or choreographer, right? And so there was a lot that was stacked up against him, but he still followed his passion, and he's inspiring millions around the world to do the same. And it breaks my heart to think that if he had caved in to limiting beliefs and to all these to all the people who around him who I'm sure were telling him that it's a terrible idea to try to pursue dance, then so many people would have lost out on what he has to offer this world, you know? And the same goes for you. Like, I don't know what your limiting beliefs are. If you think it's too late, if you think you're not talented, if you think you can't learn something, I encourage you, I challenge you to question those beliefs and see what happens if you replace it with something more empowering. Like, no, I can learn this. No, it's not too late to start. I can start at any time. Choose something that's more empowering, because otherwise the world could lose out on what you have to offer, and that is such a loss. A lot of the beauty you see in this world, whether it's art or something else, exists because someone decided not to let their fears, limiting beliefs, anxieties, or worries stop them from doing what they wanted to do. And again, like, I don't know if these like fears or limiting beliefs ever go away, but the more you train yourself to act in spite of having them, the less power they have over you. Yeah. I don't know if I mean, if you were able to grab something out of this that was helpful, I'm happy. And I'll just leave you with a final thought again. You can literally do anything you want to do. Anything. You are an infinite being with infinite potential. And I would be so, so happy if you can recognize that and accept it. Yeah. That's all for now. Much love.